Live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, this is the Great Northern Radio Show. Good evening, I'm Aaron Brown. We're broadcasting live from the same stage where former Minnesota governor and professional wrestler Jesse the Body Ventura once portrayed a shirtless, speechless, ancient soldier. As for me, I'm wearing a shirt, so far as you can tell, and we have plenty to say about this shining beacon of the great northern suburbs, Brooklyn Park. The Great Northern Radio Show is a production of Northern Community Radio, an independent community station in northern Minnesota, proudly affiliated with National Public Radio. Northern Community Radio was the first public radio station in the United States of America, an innovator in broadcasting radio waves through dense foliage, and the only station in Minnesota to adjust its programming based on the migratory pattern of North American birds. Yeah. We share modern life off the beaten path. We load up music, stories, and comedy about real people and places and haul them on the radio rails to new media frontiers. This is our first show from the Twin Cities metro area, and we are honored that the good folks here at North Hennepin agreed to host this special program. We'd also like to thank our friends at KBEM Jazz 88, the Twin Cities voice for jazz and education, for carrying this live broadcast in the heart of the big city. So whether you're tuning in on highways 694 or 169, northeastern Minnesota or northeast Minneapolis, welcome to our traveling show. Thank you. Wow, this is cool. Hey, tonight's Great Northern Radio Show is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and Town Hall Brewery in Minneapolis. You'll hear more from the Great Northern Radio players, special guests, talented musicians, all coming up. But first, welcome to our old friends, the Rowe Family Singers. Rowe Family Singers. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. And that was the Rowe Family Singers and North Hennepin Community College graduate Kim Rowe, right there on the clog. Did you take your clog lessons here at the college? Yeah. Yeah, she's a little wore out. That was tough business. That was above college level. That was master's degree level dancing there. Brooklyn Park is the 6th largest city in the state of Minnesota, bigger than St. Cloud or Mankato, rapidly catching up with Duluth in census figures. But if you ask most Minnesotans where to find Brooklyn Park, they'll quickly don the vacant expression of a lost soul, jabbing randomly at the brightly colored inset on the state map that displays the suburbs. The suburbs, after all, are model communities built on top of the past, a decorative blanket serving to keep people and their secrets safely apart from one another. Maybe your brother lives here, his children, and his wife, your sister-in-law, the one whose jaw clicks when she chews. You only have to deal with that on the holidays, but one can only imagine what that's like every day there in that ranch home in the suburbs, in the breakfast nook. Every day. Maybe your daughter married some young professional, a real go-getter, a well-meaning fellow, took your little girl to the suburbs, and there she dwells, no longer a girl, but a mother who sells overpriced cookware to fellow stay-at-home moms on the side. They drink wine at noon, and she'll be up this summer, up from the suburbs. She'll tell you she wishes she could move back, but her husband, he stares out the window at the old camper you keep in the backyard, the one you use to sight your rifles. And you can't quite make it out on his face, but that's contempt, maybe pity even. And you know your daughter won't be back unless this guy runs off with a gal from work. And you'd hope for that, but frankly, he doesn't have the looks to pull it off. So that's that. One time back in college, a girlfriend who was not a girlfriend, if that makes sense, brought me out to the suburbs to visit her family. I wandered off in the morning to smoke a cigarette and avoid an untenable social situation, but by the time I had lit that second cigarette, I was lost. I couldn't have gone that far, but nevertheless, I was adrift in a patchwork of identical houses, unaware of so much as the garbage pickup schedule or the much less the community standards as related to the watering and maintenance of lawns. It was all foreign. I didn't know the name of the street or even the city. Everything was curved. You couldn't get a straight sight line anywhere. My working knowledge of my surroundings was not terribly different from that of a golden retriever who slipped his collar. And just like a dog, I found my way back not with intellect, but rather as a basic function of muscle memory and hunger, really, to get back for breakfast. You come to find out, however, if you put in the time, that not all suburbs are alike. No, some people stare into the heart of the suburbs and see only an abyss. But if you stare at the abyss long enough, sometimes the fixed steel gaze of pro wrestling's Jesse the Body Ventura will stare right back at you. You all know where I'm going with this. I have cheered and booed the announcement of many an election result over the years, but nothing compares to the sound of Tom Brokaw saying, "We have a projection in the Minnesota governor's race. Former pro wrestler Jesse Ventura has won the race." We did it. We actually went and did it. The state of hot dish, Pearson's nut rolls, sugar beets, and the genial liberalism of Hubert Humphrey had just elected a professional wrestler whose motto in the ring was, quote, "Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat," end quote. His catchphrase from his most popular movie, Predator, was, "I ain't got time to bleed," which he says right before the Predator makes a giant hole in his torso. I saw that movie at a slumber party, and it was awesome. Jesse was known mostly as a character he played, but he ran as a citizen on a mission. After all, he had been mayor of Minnesota's sixth largest city. In case you forgot, we're in that city right now, right here in Brooklyn Park, standing on a stage where, after returning from service in Vietnam, Jim Janos, the young man who would become Jesse Ventura, portrayed a Roman soldier on this very stage, actually right about here, right in this general area. Jim Janos attended North Hennepin Community College, where he participated in theater and played football back in the 70s. I've heard a couple stories since I got down here. One of the stories, he's on the football team, and the bus is driving along, and a beautiful woman has got car trouble. Her tire is flat. Jim says, let's stop the bus and help her. The bus driver says, no, we have to go wherever this team is supposed to go. You can't do that. And in a way only the future Jesse Ventura could, that bus was stopped. And Jim Janos helped the young woman out, and she is Mrs. Ventura to this day. Also, his theater director in college ended up designing, here at North Hennepin, ended up designing his wrestling outfits for the rest of his wrestling career. A little known trivia fact, so a little North Hennepin connection to the fame there. Brooklyn Park is where the suburbs yell. This is where the bland, passive-aggressive snow leopard spirit of repressed Minnesotans found their voice in 1998, and one day we may howl again. Yes, Governor Ventura's administration was a mixed bag of competent administration and paranoid delusion. Yes, he took a side job doing color commentary for wrestling-inspired football and referred to members of the local media as jackals, and no one really understood that thing he grew on his face after he left office. It's not clear. We don't really need to understand, though. We only need to bear witness that this happened here in Minnesota, right here in Brooklyn Park. We shocked the world. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio. I'm Aaron Brown. More to come, but first, welcome back the Rowe Family Singers.
Bill Rubin is a wee little man, the doctor will catch him if they can. When they do, they give him a tan. Run, little Billy, run. Run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, Billy run. Run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, Billy run. Bill Rubin saw sweet little girl, sweetest little girl in the whole round world. Stopped her ears with silent swirls. Run, Billy, run. Run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, Billy run. Run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, Billy run. Bill Rubin saw a fine little lad, decided to be his dad. One long hug from the poor boy mad. Run, Billy, run. Run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, Billy run. Run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, little Billy Rubin, run, Billy run. You might think I'm being a
The Rowe Family Singers. You are listening to the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Hello to all the folks back home in northern Minnesota, including the folks in my city of birth and site of our first show, Hibbing. Hibbing is the town that moved itself 5 miles south to accommodate iron mining and moved Bob Dylan 1,337 miles east to accommodate rock and roll. I've met a number of former Hibbingites down here in Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park is listed as a suburb, but no suburb started out that way. Fewer than 100 years ago, Brooklyn Township was an active farming community. As the city encroached on the land and the township split into what would become two cities, Brooklyn Center to the east and Brooklyn Park here in the west, the crop of choice was potatoes. In fact, the city still celebrates Tater Days every year, coming this June 18th through 21st, right here in Brooklyn Park. Joining me now on stage is a genuine, lifelong potato farmer. And so welcome Eldon Tessman. So Eldon, you grew up on a potato farm and farmed for many years. Tell us a little bit about your family operation.
I'm fortunate enough to live on my great-grandfather's farmstead yet. It's only a half a mile east of North Hennepin Community College. My great-grandfather came here in 1870. And I'm the fourth generation.
It'd really be an understatement to say that the city has changed a lot since you were farming potatoes. Tell us about how Brooklyn Park has changed around you since you were young.
It's changed a great deal. I'll just share this with you. In 1910, there were more railroad car loads of potatoes shipped out of Osseo, our neighboring community, than any other shipping point in the U.S. Consequently, we were known as the potato capital of the world at that time.
Right. So, what stands out to you as memories of all those years? When did you stop farming potatoes, and can you tell us a little bit how that? First of all, tell us about that, and then maybe some of your memories about farming potatoes here in town.
I'm going to share with you, the 1930s were a very difficult time in this area as far as raising potatoes were concerned. It was very hot and very dry. Potatoes do need water. In 1935, they started irrigating in this area. In fact, my father put in a deep well at where I live at the present time, and I'm still using that today to water our lawns. So I raised potatoes up until 1976. It was another dry year. We started irrigating on Memorial Day, irrigated the crop out, and when we got through that fall, we sold some of the potatoes for $2 a hundred. And my wife said, "Do we really have to do this?" And so consequently, that was our last year raising potatoes.
Well, what do you think of Brooklyn Park now? I mean, what has that tradition meant to this community, the potato farming tradition?
We provided the area for development, homes, business, what have you. I'm very proud of this community. I've lived here all my life, hope to live here a little bit longer, and like I say, we're finally getting some development along 610. It's been a long time coming, but like I say, I'm just very happy to see this development, and it won't be too long before Brooklyn Park will be entirely developed out, and that'll be good.
All right. Eldon Tessman, thank you so much, sir. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio. I'm Aaron Brown. We are broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College from the potato capital of the world, Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Our show is made possible in part by Town Hall Brewery, with award-winning craft beer and food in a relaxed environment on the fringes of downtown Minneapolis. More at townhallbrewery.com. Welcome back, the Rowe Family Singers.
1, 2, 3, 4.
This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88 in Minneapolis. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Hey, I'm Aaron Brown. The Great Northern Radio Show was born in the 218. I'm referring to the area code ubiquitous across the forests and lakes of northern Minnesota, the northern burgs of Duluth, Bemidji, and the Iron Range. Back in kindergarten, I learned how to use the phone at our trailer house, a corded rotary dial number on the wall of the family's junkyard trailer house in Zim, south of Eveleth. And I learned that when it came time to call Grandpa and Grandma Brown's house, you just dialed the number. But when you needed to call Grandpa and Grandma Johnson in Keewatin, you had to dial those very important numbers, 218. And then something happened a couple years after that. Our mom and dad loaded us up in the back of the station wagon with suitcases. They told us to get in. They drove off to a land far away. It was a mythical, mysterious land, a place whispered on the wind, drifting into my room with the drone of the television announcers from the living room. We weren't going to Duluth. We were going somewhere else. Not this time, no. We were going to the Twin Cities. Actually, it was Golden Valley. Yeah, okay. Well, we didn't know any better, so same deal. In this land, 218 meant nothing. You were on your own, son. This was at least then 612 country, and the first time you heard those numbers, if you were a 218er, it wasn't pretty. 612ers didn't understand us, and we didn't understand them. So in the spirit of our state's colorful passive-aggressive tradition of identification with the arbitrary area codes assigned by the phone company, the Great Northern Radio players now present Area Code Rumble.
All right, Trisha and Gramps, keep your eyes open. We're walking in the cities at night. That means we could get attacked at any moment.
Sure thing, Randy. Have you seen the TV news? Metro crime has never been worse, according to something my grandma said many years ago.
I had a bad experience shortly after Korea.
All right, us 218ers have to stick together. We came down here to the Twin Cities for 3 reasons. 1, to see Garth Brooks at the Target Center.
Check! Wasn't he wonderful? When he sang The River, I just wanted to crawl up his big sweaty frame like a jungle gym.
He was all right. 2, we need to attend a professional sporting event that we don't remember because we blacked out.
Did we do that?
I think so. I remember a men's room with a trough somewhere. And 3rd, we need to help Gramps find the guy selling that boat he saw online.
I like boats more than I hate computers.
Well, stay alert. If you ain't on the freeway, you're in danger.
What's that?
Over there.
Well, what do we have here, Gregory?
Looks like a pack of 218ers, Skyla.
I don't know. It's so hard to see them, what with all that camouflage.
Not hard to smell them, though.
Hey, that's just some venison jerky I've had in my pocket for a period of time.
Holy crap, Randy, that's from November.
What's a bunch of flannel fetish 218ers doing down here in the 612?
Back off, lady. No one wearing that many scarves gets to talk down to my man.
Hey, no one with that many back tats gets to sass my committed life partner.
Hey, leave her alone. Those tattoos are tributes to our kids. And also motorcycles.
Let me spell it out for you. We don't need any 218ers down here making the clubs lame, clogging up the roads with bad driving, or voting for anyone other than RT Ryback.
No time for that. God, I love RT.
Well, we don't need 612ers sucking back craft brews while looking down their noses at our domestic cars.
Yeah, here's what I think of you.
Hey, he knocked my fedora in the mud.
You took it too far.
Ah! She tore my favorite Jack Daniels pajama pants.
All right, just hold on. Now, there's got to be a better way to handle this.
In my day, we usually used to call that a rumble.
A rumble? Yeah, whatever. Get your phone out. What's a rumble?
Yeah, let's do that.
Are you all Googling what rumble means?
Oh, it's a fight. Yeah, let's fight.
Oh, good. I was worried it was some weird metrosexual thing. So yeah, let's fight.
Weapons?
An aluminum bat from Checo's bar softball team.
Yeah, and my 10-inch Jiffy 4-stroke ice auger. Ah, damn choke.
Nice. Your lame weapons will make it easy for me to cleave your skulls with this.
Stupid hoe.
Hey, don't talk to her that way.
Knock it off, Gregory. It actually is a hoe. Yesterday, it tilled a community garden. Today, it thirsts for 218 blood.
And check this out. I weaponized a Keurig single-serving coffee maker.
What flavor is that pod you just put in, Gregory?
That one is my favorite. 218 Tears.
We'll see who's crying after we get done with you.
On my mark, we rumble. 1, 2.
Hold on there, everyone. Hold on. Hi, I'm Ed. Hi, Ed Gunderson. Hi, I'm Ed. Hi, Ed Gunderson. Hi, how you doing? Say, I've been following all of this on Twitter.
Twitter? Who's tweeting this?
Well, it looks like @6124Eva.
Gregory!
I can't self-censor, Skylar. That would be selling out my brand.
Well, it occurs to me that you 218ers and 612ers are always fighting, but no one ever talks about us up in the 763. So we thought we'd come down and show you kids a thing or two. Geez.
This dude brought a pipe. It's getting serious.
Well, actually, it's the post that came with a bird feeder I bought at Home Depot. You have the option of putting it on the post or hanging it on your deck. We tried it from the post, but it just looked better hanging on the deck. So reduce, reuse, recycle. That's what we said.
So, Ed, are you here with a gang or something? I only see you.
Oh, my wife Diane is in the van. She's on the phone. Everyone's caught in traffic. I told them to stay off 94, but everyone just goes the way their phone tells them to go. So, Diane, are you coming?
I'm on the phone with Becky. Did you tell them about 763?
Yes.
Did you tell them how we're sick of them forgetting us?
Yes, dear, we did that.
Tell them we pay taxes.
I know, dear. Yes, I will tell them that. Yes.
Ask them if they know how hard it is to be part of the middle class when you've got 2 girls at the
Yes.
U.
Okay, yes, dear.
Tell them!
Yes. Now, did you folks get all that? Did you get? Okay.
We're wasting time. If you want a piece of the action, 763, you go right ahead. It's time to rumble.
Ooh, ow! My knuckle! Hey, knock it off.
What now? Who are you?
I'm Paul from the 651. We'd just like all of you to please be quiet. You know, we've got work in the morning. You ever heard of that? You can hear everything clear across the river.
Sorry, Paul. We didn't realize that this was a problem.
Oh, yeah, I know how it is. You want to have fun, but some people have responsibilities. Anyway, I'd hate to involve the authorities in this matter, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely not, Paul. No. Wow. We're really sorry. We'll knock it off, right, guys?
Absolutely.
Who is this dipwad?
He can't help it.
Hey, everyone, back to my house. Diana's gonna do make your own tostadas in the rumpus room.
Tell them to bring a dish to pass.
The Great Northern Radio Players. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park. Our show is made possible in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and Town Hall Brewery in Minneapolis. Town Hall Brewery opened in 1997 in downtown Minneapolis, and they serve food, mixed drinks, and craft beer, including its own award-winning beer brewed on site. We're excited to welcome our next guest to stage. They're just a giant band that fuses jazz and funk. They're fan favorites everywhere they play. Here they are, New Sound Underground. That's New Sound Underground. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88 in Minneapolis. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park. Hello to all the folks back home in northern Minnesota, including our friends in Grand Rapids, where you'll find the original KAXE studios, and Bemidji, where you'll find KBXE studios. Our stations run with a lot of help from volunteers. As any listener to Northern Community Radio knows, one of them is a hairy fellow who sneaks into the studios for late night shifts. He goes by the name Satch, and while he doesn't like to make a big deal about it, he is a Sasquatch. Well, in the spirit of our friend Satch, I'm happy to welcome our next act, Phil and Jules Darg, our North Hennepin Theater alumni. They both logged a lot of hours on this stage. In 2012, Phil wrote Sasquatch the Musical, about Arthur, a dignified fellow who just happens to be one of those rare humanoid ape people otherwise known as Sasquatch. In 2013, the show was chosen as a Next Link selection in the New York Musical Theater Festival and was performed in New York in July 2013. The show was later performed here in Minneapolis as well. We're very excited to welcome Phil and Jules to our stage, where along with a little help from the Rowe Family Singers and our Great Northern Radio players, they're going to treat us to a selection from Sasquatch the Musical, a little setup. In this scene, Bert, a loner who has been camping out in the woods, returns to his favorite watering hole to relate his encounter with Arthur, the Sasquatch.
Hey, Puddin', can I get you another drink? Maybe something fancy, you know, like a real cocktail?
Beer.
How about a brandy Alexander? Now that's a classy drink for a fine gentleman like yourself.
Beer.
Fine, beer it is. Dang, this $2 beer night. Oh, hey, sweetie. Looks like you could use some help.
Thanks, Cupcake.
Oh, I think you've had just a little too much. Would you like to book a room at our charming upstairs motel? Breakfast is included. Well, you get some cornflakes.
No, thanks. I'm good right here.
I swear, I've had it with this bunch of losers. If something doesn't happen soon to turn things around,
Hey, everybody!
Oh, hey, Bert. What's all the excitement about?
It's Bigfoot. I saw him out in the woods. No, really, I ain't kidding. It was less than 15 minutes ago. I heard a sound. I looked up, and there he was, big and hairy, and he gave off this horrible stank.
That was probably you.
You stink.
I'm telling you, it was Bigfoot right in front of me.
That whole Bigfoot thing is just a great big hoax.
Oh, no, really, I did see him.
Oh, go on, Bert. Are you sure you didn't just have one too many?
Now, dang it, listen to me. I wasn't drunk. I saw him. I really did.
Well, I was camping outdoors on a Saturday night, sitting neath the stars when I got a bad fright. Out popped a monster from the darkened woods. It was a Bigfoot man. He was after my goods. He was 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. He was 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. But how do we know that you weren't just drunk? Well, he turned towards me and he started to growl. I looked for a weapon, but he started to howl. It was then that I knew I had run out of luck. I got so scared that I ran for my truck. He was 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. He was 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. But how do we know that you weren't just drunk?
Hey, now, you listen to me when I tell you. I saw Bigfoot, I really did. He was out there, he was big, he was hairy, he's real, I tell you, he's real.
Well, I came back here and I told you my tale about the Sasquatch who began to wail. We should call up the sheriff so this thing can be caught, but I don't know if you believe me or not. He was 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. He was 8 feet tall and he smelled like a skunk. But how do we know that you weren't just drunk? But how do we know that you weren't just drunk?
Phil and Jules Darg and Sasquatch the musical. We'll have another number from them later on, and if you're interested in their play, it's sasquatched.com, not ed. You know what I mean? The verb. Okay. Okay, this is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Not only is this our first Metro show, but it's our first TV crossover show because you might not have realized it. We're recording this right now for Channel 12 here in Brooklyn Park in the northwestern suburbs. So we'll be on public cable access television sometime next week. And those of you back home can look at 12.tv. That's the number 12 spelled out .tv and watch us online. But first of all, here's a guy who knows a thing or two about these northwest suburbs. He's a big person involved with Channel 12. Here's Dave Kaiser. And you know a little bit about the college too, don't you, Dave?
Yes, been in the area for about 30 years, doing lots of stories about the community, but also about this college as well.
Absolutely. Well, so we talked about Brooklyn Park's past a moment ago, so I'm real curious, how would you describe Brooklyn Park today?
Unknown gem. I grew up in Bloomington, so not too far from Brooklyn Park, but if you would have asked me when I was living in Bloomington where Brooklyn Park was, I could not have told you. But now that I've been in this area for about 25, 30 years, It is a gem. Mississippi River, parks, community. It's a great place to live.
Cool. Well, what makes Brooklyn Park unique from other suburbs? What stands out to you?
Well, a couple things. Obviously, the diversity is a big point, and I'll mention a little bit more about that. But another thing that I have heard from some that have been before me in the city is 3 school districts. So the city of Brooklyn Park is part of 3 school districts. And a lot of times, what builds community and identity is the school district, as obviously up north in smaller towns that's the case. But here, that hasn't been the case as much because everyone goes to a different high school. And so what's happened here is that responsibility has fallen to the residents and the community itself. And they've done a great job building community here.
Excellent. So what do you think has made this a city that, or I should say, what are the challenges you think that come with being a city that's grown and diversified so much over a relatively short amount of time?
It has been amazing, and you think back and you think in the early days it was the Swedes and those from Norway and Germany that came and were the new people to the community. And now it's those from Africa and from Asia. And some of the challenges that I've heard about and we've done stories about is you'll hear about people from another country that don't know how to react when the police car comes up behind you. Or how do I take care of my lawn? They've never had a home with a lawn. And so they have to depend on the city to really instruct them of what it means to cut the weeds and not park in the middle of your lawn.
So looking ahead for Brooklyn Park, what do you see the future as for this place and what lies beyond?
I think it's a fantastic future. Eldon mentioned 610 and the freeway that's just to the north of us here, just north of the college. So business is booming. Youth are very important to this community. In fact, I just interviewed the mayor this week, and he's going to Washington, D.C. to talk about things they're doing here with the youth and going to Los Angeles. So the youth are a big positive part of what's going on here in the community.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Dave Kaiser, for your time here tonight.
You're welcome.
Telling us about Brooklyn Park. Give him a hand, folks. Well, this is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. I'm Aaron Brown. Tonight we're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College, the theater here, for our spring show. Next year, North Hennepin Community College will celebrate its 50th year. Founded in 1966, this college has ushered the students and surrounding community through many changes in the modern era. But as our Great Northern players will now show, North Hennepin Community College was a part of American history. President Lyndon B. Johnson was the one who installed the elaborate recording system in the Oval Office that became so famous under President Nixon. Well, thanks to the Johnson tapes, now made public in the 21st century, we have access to conversations that demonstrate how Brooklyn Park was once a hot topic at the White House.
He's on, sir.
Hubert? Yes, Mr. President. Thanks for taking my call.
Well, anything for my bald-headed, puppet-cheeked, Scandahoovian vice president. I wouldn't want to be on your bad side. You might tug on my sleeve or some such thing. I swear, Hubert, you're docile, like a Canadian. You smell better than a Canadian, though, I grant you that. Well, I was once in a steam room with Lester Pearson, Prime Minister of Canada, and I swear it was like I was in a gravy factory. Man was like a gravy fountain. But you don't smell like that. You smell kind of minty.
Thank you, Mr. President. That's what I strive for.
You do a good job, Hubert. They love you up there in Minnesota. I bet they name a stadium after you someday. It'll fall down in the snow, of course, but for a time, your family will be very proud.
Thank you, sir. I'm calling to ask you a favor.
Name it, Hubert. Anything.
Well, back in Minnesota, they're opening a new college up north of Minneapolis called North Hennepin Junior College. It's in Brooklyn Park. They're going to have a big ceremony, and I thought it might be nice if you signed some kind of proclamation.
Junior college, huh? Well, we need more of those. Wouldn't want people walking around ignorant like some of the fellows we know in Congress. I used to teach, you know. Hell, I had got a teaching at a junior college. I might never have run for office. Good thing. Who knows who might be sitting in this seat?
Maybe me, sir.
Don't get fresh with me, Hubert. You'd be shoveling snow half drunk on rhubarb schnapps if it weren't for me.
You're probably right about that, Mr. President. Do you think you could help with the proclamation?
Well, sure. Let's take it down now. Jenny, you on?
Yes, Mr. President.
Jenny, I'm going to give dictation on a proclamation from my friend Hubert here. You ready?
Yes, sir.
I, Lyndon Baines Johnson, President of the United States, do hereby congratulate North Hennepin Junior College in Brooklyn Center.
Park, sir. Brooklyn Park.
Well, ain't that the same thing?
No, sir. It's a different place.
Is that the same thing as Anoka?
It's all in the same general area, yes.
Anyway, I declare North Hennepin, etc., as the shining educational beacon of that place we were talking about just north of Minneapolis, which is a city I've actually been to. Hey, Hubert, you remember when we went and saw that waterfall?
Yes, sir.
What was that waterfall called? That was special.
That was Minnehaha Falls, Mr. President.
Oh, don't be yanking on my bullwhip now, son. You don't really call it that, do you?
Sir, is this in the letter?
It ain't in the letter, Jenny. It's a proclamation. Type it up on that special paper that feels like leather.
I'm sorry, sir. We don't have any of that kind left.
Well, hell, Jenny. Get Bob Roscoe on the phone.
Yes, sir.
You may wish to mention something about preparing the sons and daughters of Hennepin County for a brighter future.
Jenny will fix that up. How is the family, Hubert?
Oh, wonderful, sir. My oldest is...
Bob Roscoe on the line, sir.
Okay, can it, Hubert? Bob Roscoe, you own that paper plant up by Philadelphia, right?
Yes, Mr. President, and we're big supporters of yours.
I know, that's why I'm calling. You all, your daddy, I think it was, made up some paper for me one time that was real nice, like a baby cow's backside. Didn't smear, felt like fabric.
Yes, Mr. President.
Now, I need a couple reams of that, maybe some envelopes, too.
We have many kinds of paper, sir. The quill master won't smear, but the executor is much softer.
Well, what kind holds up the best? We want this here proclamation to last into the next century. This is a proclamation. I'm not wiping my bunghole here.
Well, Mr. President, we make quality paper, but I can't see into the future.
I was afraid of that. Jenny, patch in Dr. Pennybaker at the university.
Which university, sir?
The secret one, 5 miles below Denver.
Right away, sir.
Mr. President, I wasn't aware that we had secret universities below Denver.
Need to know basis, Hubert. Don't trouble yourself. Any scenario we need them is one in which you are a crispy critter.
Dr. Pennybaker is on the line, Mr. President.
Pennybaker, you still pale, smart, and weird?
Mr. President, yes, I am very much the same, yes.
Good. You remember that time portal you showed me? That deal in the basement there that makes all the whooping sounds and such? Well, anyway, I need you to patch a call through there so I can talk to someone in the future.
Hold on, Mr. President. I didn't mean for this to be so much trouble. I just wanted a simple proclamation for the people in Brooklyn Park.
And that's just what you're going to get. What do you say, Pennybaker? I need a call to the future.
Well, I suppose I could make a sort of radio connection with a future time period. They have mobile telephone signals and something called the Internet that allows for information to be sent on computers instead of being printed out. Give me a moment to make my calculations.
Okay, Pennybaker. Pop that portal just as soon as you can.
Say, Mr. President, I don't like the sound of this Internet thing. Sounds like it would be bad for the paper industry.
Roscoe, you think too much. They'll have to print the directions on something, won't they? Don't fight the future, Bob.
Mr. President, I have the portal open, and we have established a phone connection with the 2015.
Good. Call North Hennepin Junior College in Minnesota.
Okay, is this in the Coon Rapids?
Actually, it's Brooklyn Park. Again, same place.
I see. Yeah, it's called North Hennepin Community College now. Yeah, I've started the call.
All right, everybody be quiet. I'll handle this.
Hello, North Hennepin Community College admissions. This is Madison.
Oh, this is Lyndon Johnson, President of the United States.
Aren't you dead?
Probably. I'm calling from the past through a space-time portal. Listen, what was it? Madison? Wait a minute. I thought we were calling Minnesota.
You are, sir. Madison is my name.
What were your parents thinking? I wish I had time for pleasantries, but I need you to step out in the hallway and check something for me. Do you have a proclamation from me dated 1966 congratulating your college?
Yes, Mr. President. It's right here by our office.
How is that paper holding up? Is it yellow or nasty looking?
It's a little yellow, and it looks like some of the ink smeared when they put it in the frame.
Damn it, Bob, this is what I was talking about.
I'm sorry, sir. Perhaps if we were to try a special treatment on the executor, we might get it to hold. Here, I'll put in the order.
I can't believe it. The paper just cleared right up. It looks brand new.
There you go, Bob. That's more like it. Send me over a box of that special paper.
Yes, sir. Where should I send it?
White House. Bye now. Wisconsin, that is all. Congratulations on your college's 50th year.
Thank you, Mr. President. Goodbye.
Mr. President, Gott in Himmel. While I was closing the time portal, something went wrong. You know those pro-segregation congressmen you banished here underneath the mountain so you could pass that Civil Rights Act?
Yeah?
Well, they wandered through the portal into the year 2015.
Oh, that is not good. That cannot be good at all. Well, we best let that dog lie. Just a little gristle in the gravy. Thank you, Dr. Pennybaker. That is all. Hubert, you still on?
Yes, Mr. President.
Jenny will have this proclamation typed up by tomorrow morning. You want to haul it up there yourself, or should we send it in the mail?
I'll bring it when I go home this weekend.
I'm sorry. I forgot to ask if you got to be president after me, Hubert. I'm sure you do, really. We just won a landslide against Goldwater, and the Republicans are talking about running on Nixon again. Can you believe it?
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a sure thing, just like the Minnesota Vikings behind that Fran Tarkenton.
The Great Northern Radio Players. That's it for our first hour. Here's New Sound Underground. Welcome back. You're listening to the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. I'm Aaron Brown. Our northern listeners are tuned to Northern Community Radio, 91.7 KAXE in Grand Rapids, and the Iron Range, 90.5 KBXE Bagley and Bemidji, 89.9 FM in Brainerd and Baxter, and 103.9 FM Ely. Our metro listeners are tuned to KBEM Jazz 88, Minneapolis and St. Paul. We're streaming live all over the world at kaxe.org. You can go there to download past episodes of the show. Stay tuned for our podcast and rebroadcasts on a public radio station near you. Joining me on stage now is our producer slash stage manager, Erica Coda. She's on her way over. Erica is midway through her second year as a radio broadcast major at the distinguished Columbia College in Chicago, Illinois. And Erica, you got started at a young age at Northern Community Radio. You were 11. 11? Is that a real number?
That is a real number.
When I was 11, I could put on sweatpants. That's about all I could do.
Oh, for some reason they let me on the radio.
Wow, I'm impressed. So I'm curious, you've been taught by some of the finest broadcast radio professors in the nation, and I'm curious, what do you think of our little show now?
Well, you're pretty much doing everything wrong.
What? Well, everything?
Well, not everything. For instance, what's your source of revenue?
Well, our program is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the Town Hall Brewery in Minneapolis. Of course, listener members of Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88, the independent public radio stations that carry our show.
That's it?
Well, most of the big money is going to other variety shows that people have heard of.
So what did North Hennepin Community College pay to get you here?
What did they pay to get me here? Nothing. In fact, I'm supposed to tell everyone that North Hennepin Community College creates opportunities for students to reach their academic goals, succeed in their chosen professions, and make a difference in the world. Find out more at nhcc.edu.
And all these people, what did they pay to get in here?
What did they pay to get in here? Well, we believe our show is a gift for the people of the communities we visit. We've never charged for tickets.
My textbook said that shows like this are extinct.
Well, endangered maybe, but we're still kicking.
So how are you paying for Dan to get the gas and all of the equipment down here from Bemidji?
I was hoping to buy him a pack of meat sticks and hope he forgot.
That's not gonna work.
No, well, maybe the folks could help us out. Erica is holding up our patented Minnow Bucket 5000, a classic receptacle design reclaimed for a modern lifestyle. Erica, demonstrate how it works. You can help us cover the expense of bringing our little show to places like Brooklyn Park or our next stop on June 13th in Grand Marais so we can broadcast live to the whole world. If you're listening on the radio or online, use the next few minutes to call 800-662-5799 to pledge what you can to Northern Community Radio. Memberships are available at any level, and Great Northern Radio Show gear is available at many levels, including our fashionable new t-shirt, something appropriate for spring, which is allegedly just around the corner. So for our studio audience, become a member here after the show or do what you can in the Minnow Bucket 5000. Welcome to our stage, a North Hennepin Community College music student, a veteran of this very stage. He's got a violin and an audio mixer, so let's find out what happens next. Here's Stephen Decker. Stephen Decker. And for those listening at home, that was one person playing a violin, just in case you were wondering. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio. Our show is made possible in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Our show uses music, stories, and humor to tell the story of modern life off the beaten path. We're the big show from your hometown. This is our first show in the Twin Cities metro area. We've spent some time touring around northern Minnesota in our home area, and some said we should come down here. Maybe we should go to Minneapolis, or maybe we should have gone to St. Paul, although to be fair, they seem pretty well stocked up on this nonsense over there. So I asked, where would the experts say we shouldn't go? And after Richfield said no, we ended up here in Brooklyn Park. I'm kidding. There is no way Richfield would have said no. That just wouldn't have happened. So it happened like this. The year was 1990-something, and I was a teenager driving to the Twin Cities from the Iron Range with my friends. We were staying with my friend's Uncle Bob in a housing development where you could still see the sod lines in the front yards that some phantom landscaper mowed when no one was looking. And yes, while we stayed there at Uncle Bob's, I slept in a guest room that contained nothing more than a bed and a giant cardboard box of pornography. I wish I could say that I didn't look inside the box, but you have to understand it was not just a box of pornography, it was a comically large box of pornography, a box so large that the sheer task of filling it must have represented not only a conscious decision, but also a financial commitment of some sort, similar to financing an ATV or high-end gazebo. There were so many magazines in the box that one could not store them under a mattress. In fact, they could have been used as a mattress. To ignore such a box would be like ignoring a dumpster fire. So I looked inside, but by teenage boy standards, I didn't linger. I observed. That's why I'm in public radio. But that is not my real confession. On my way to this place, I committed a crime that forbids me from revisiting the city of Burnsville. We weren't headed for Burnsville on this trip, because I had no idea where we were headed. I was driving my family's minivan full of teenage friends. We ended up in Burnsville by accident. So I pulled over at a gas station off the interstate to ask directions, and I left my laminated Twin Cities map in the hands of my friend in the passenger seat. So I swaggered into this gas station the way only the second best member of a small rural school's Knowledge Bowl team could. And when I emerged from the bathroom, my friend rushed up to me, pointing at colorful lines and numbers that he believed would lead us to the promised land on the map. And so things were looking up. I went to pay for a pop and the gas, and the clerk added, and $3.99 for the map. Wait a minute, I thought. This was my map. I bought that map in Virginia, Minnesota. I'm not going to pay for it twice. And what follows is a dramatic retelling of the resulting dialogue, altered perhaps by time and my own biases. So, I am not going to pay for a map that I already own, I said, tensing my taut teenage muscles. That map came from that display over there, he says, clearly intimidated by my physical prowess. No, this is my map. I own it, and my friend brought it in from the car. I was defiant. This man, just barely a man, probably in his early 20s, working at a gas station just off the interstate, he said with full authority of that position, well, fine, but don't ever come back again. Ever. Fine, I said, not a problem. I stormed out the gas station with my posse at my back. We piled into the minivan to the cadence of my angry muttering until, as I engaged the engine, one of my friends said, dude, way to steal a map. It turns out the map that my friend was showing me really was from the gas station. My map, though similar in almost every way, suffered from the same problem all people and things from the Iron Range endure, the assumption that similar things from the Twin Cities must be better. So I had just confronted a store clerk who had witnessed the map being removed from the shelf and with full commitment talked him out of that very map, not because I was right, but because there was a distinct limit to how much he cared. But that is not why I can't go back to Burnsville. I can't go back because I put that van in gear fast. I kept driving. That map has been in every car I've driven since. That map is in the parking lot of this theater right now as I speak. It remembers. They say the suburbs have their secrets. I might have left those dirty magazines where I found them, but I stole a map. I could return it, but everybody just uses their phones now. So, SRY, gas station guy, my bad.
When you got a place to go, I'm the one you need to know. What's my name? When you've got a place to get, I can get you there, I bet. Say my name! I'm the map, 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 I'm the map!
This is the Great Northern Radio Show. Thanks to Quill and Rowe for that rendition of the classic, I'm the Map. We are broadcasting live from Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. You know, there's a lot of towns with a great baseball tradition back up in northern Minnesota, but you can't talk about Brooklyn Park without talking about baseball. Several major leaguers have come from the fields around this city. Kirby Puckett lived here. Tim Laudner's from here, the '87 Twins, and of course Pat Neshek down at spring training. With spring training underway in Florida, coaches and kids alike are anxiously awaiting the end of winter. We present to you the story of two young boys facing tough pressures in this modern world, a little leaguer beleaguered.
Hey, Chance, why are you sitting all by yourself? The team is 2 tables over. We're talking about the tournament tomorrow.
I needed to be alone, Billy. Go, 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 go.
Whoa, buddy. You might want to go easy on that chocolate milk. How many have you had?
Not enough to forget the tournament.
Hey, you're our best hitter. You're gonna win us the pennant.
That's what everyone says, but they don't know. They don't know the pressure I'm under. They said 6th grade was as a step up from 5th grade, but everything's different now. Do you know that I have to solve a 10 trigonometry problem using beads by 3rd period, then write down a critical analysis of a book about Ben Franklin's accountant who happens to be an autistic Latina?
It's the Common Core. It's hard on us all.
I'm afraid, Billy. I'm afraid I'll be the one child left behind.
Don't say that. Don't ever say that. The whole team has your back. We can help you with your homework.
It's not just the homework, it's everything. Do you know that a lady called the house yesterday and I picked up and she thought I was my mom? My mom! Because my voice! See, there it is.
I know puberty's hard, man, but we've all been there. We're all changing. Maybe you can't tell right now, but I smell like old soup. I have since I got here.
I'm not changing fast enough. I'm not good enough for this team. Look at Joey. He's taller than me. He can swing harder than me now. I've seen Emily giving him looks. He's gonna try to take my spot any day. I can see it in the way he looks at me all shifty-eyed.
Hey, I heard from Shannon, who heard from Joelle, that Emily likes you, not Joey. Maybe he can swing, but he sure can't hit. Remember when he spun all the way around and whacked that bird?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy Bird, our old shortstop. How's he doing now?
They say he's walking again.
Oh, good. Look, Billy, I've been thinking that maybe there's another solution, something that can help me out on the field.
What are you talking about, Chance?
I know a guy at Brooklyn Center. He gave me a good deal on this.
Is that? It can't be.
It is. Pure grapefruit juice laced with cane sugar.
You're juicing?
Keep it down. I haven't taken it yet, but I'm going to tomorrow, just before the big game. I'll have increased memory, better alertness, more energy, and a higher libido.
What's libido?
I don't know. I think it has something to do with getting to second base.
But it's cheating.
Maybe it is, but How's a kid supposed to get ahead in this world anymore if he doesn't cheat a little bit? Mom and Dad always on my back telling me to clean my room, take out the trash. Coach telling me to work harder, play harder. Teacher telling me to do my homework and feed the guinea pig. I can't take it anymore. I need this, Billy. I don't want it. I need it. Ah!
Think of your dreams, man. You're still gonna ask Emily to the Brooklyn Park Little League ball, right? You think she wants to go with some juice head?
I think she wants to go with the winner. Ooh.
Chance, didn't you hear me before? That girl likes you. And in 6th grade, that means something. She'll still like you, even if you lost the game tomorrow. But if you won because of the juice, that's betraying her. That's saying, I don't like you enough to respect you.
But I do like her.
So show her how much you care by winning that game. Honestly.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I was thinking. Why do things gotta be so tough, Billy? Why?
I guess at our age, life is just one test after another. How about you throw that juice away and come join the team?
Sounds good. Hey, is that Emily over there?
Yep, and I already texted her. She knows you like her.
You did what?
The Great Northern Radio Players.
Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. Knock it out of the park, touch your toe to every base. Put your hope in every heart, put your smile on every face. You don't have to look big to walk tall. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. Be a hero to the children, a beacon in the night. Let us all see the beauty of something done right. 'Cause we all play the game after all. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. At a time when it all seems too broken to fix, show the world how it's done, like you did in Game 6. Coming through with your back to the wall. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all. Take us back to the way that could be again. Remind us of how even good guys can win. Show us all what it means to play ball. 'Cause we all play the game after all. So step up and tear the cover off that ball. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett. Touch 'em all, Kirby Puckett, touch 'em all.
The Rowe Family Singers. Touch 'Em All, Kirby Puckett, a great old song from Pat Donahue. Thanks, Pat, for letting us use that in the show tonight. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio, KBEM Jazz 88, Minneapolis. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park. And our show is made possible in part by Town Hall Brewery in Minneapolis and the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Hello to all the people back home in northern Minnesota, including our friends in Chisholm on the Iron Range. You drive into Chisholm, you see Chisholm, there you go. We got a couple Chisholm people in the front row. You see the Bridge of Peace flying the flags of 43 nations from which people emigrated to the area 100 years ago to work the woods and mines of northern Minnesota. Minnesota is a state founded on immigration and opportunity, and that's no different today than it was 150 years ago. Joining me now on stage, a former student, a graduate of North Hennepin Community College. He's from Gambia. Ami Jaru, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Ami, tell me a little bit about where you're from and how you got here to Brooklyn Park.
Well, I'm from a small country called the Gambia, West Africa, and I'm kind of a traveler. I've been around. I've been to over 25 countries myself, and I lived in New York for a bit, and New York had a lot going on. So I was looking for a spot that's laid back and didn't have a lot going on, and Minnesota was the right spot for that. Minnesota was the right spot for that, in a good way though. So in a good way, it was the right spot for it. I came over. I was on my way to St. Cloud to go to school. Then I came over, and Brooklyn Park was diverse enough, and the things I liked were out here. The food was out here. The people were nice enough, and I figured I'd just hang around and do a couple of semesters, and I did, and it's been a great experience.
Excellent. Well, we were talking before the show, and one of the things that you're studying for is economics. You want to help your home country and the people there. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. And I started a nonprofit in high school. It actually started, my mom had the idea, and she kind of paid me to start a nonprofit because I didn't have a lot of things going on. I graduated high school, and I was just messing around like a teenager would. So she figured she had an idea. She was like, I'll pay you to start a nonprofit. And I started it, and coming to North Hennepin kind of gave me the reaffirmation I was looking for to stick with that. Because I was at a point in my life that I was looking for something to validate my reasons for doing what I was going to do. I couldn't, because my options were to find a corporate job and make the money and just chill, but then I'm from a place that didn't have a whole lot. And they need people like me to help, because this is a blessing. We don't get, people like me coming from where I'm from, we don't get to come this far. So coming this far, the best thing I could do for myself and for my people is to go back and help. And coming to North Hennepin really, really helped me coming to that decision.
Tell us a little bit about what's different in your life as opposed to the folks back home that you know.
Well, the one thing they got better than us is the weather. so the weather's way better than our here, but the people are nice enough. The people in Minnesota are nice. And that's something worth sticking around for. And the people are nice. There's a lot of diversity in Minnesota. That helps a ton. And see, I'm a big fan of nice people in the community, and that's kind of what Minnesota provides, a community of people that really care about each other. And that's what I know, and that's where I'm from, and Minnesota provides that.
All right, so Ami, what's next for you?
Well, for now, I'm actually in grad school and undergrad at the same time. I'm kind of doing it because I kind of didn't finish grad school. I'm left with a credit with a class that I'm doing that class, and I'm in grad school too at the same time. I'm at Augsburg and Metro State at the same time. Going for a degree, I'm going to have an economics degree in my undergrad. My grad school degree is going to be development economics. And what that is economics for the third world. It's designed specifically for third world countries. And with my nonprofit, that's going to do a lot for me. So the next step for me is get that degree and probably see how it goes, and probably go back home eventually and work with the nonprofit and hopefully see how things go.
Great. Well, thanks. You're doing great work. Thank you.
Thanks.
Ami Jaru. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88 Minneapolis. Our show is made possible in part by Town Hall Brewery. Town Hall brews and serves 5 year-round beers, makes over 50 styles of beer each year. In the past 14 years, Town Hall's beer has won 15 Great American Beer Festival medals, including 3 gold medals. Last hour, we featured Phil and Jules Darg, along with the Rowe Family Singers and our Great Northern Radio players,
in a selection from the Minnesota show that went to New York, Sasquatch the Musical. After hearing about Bert's encounter with Bigfoot in the nearby woods, Zeke and Thelma, the owners of the local bar in Filcher Creek, decided it's time to unleash their crazy plan to drive tourists into their sleepy little town by capitalizing on the Bigfoot legend.
Did you hear that, Thelma?
Of course I did, Zeke. That fool Bert has got him going on a wild goose chase.
Maybe so, but in any case, this is exactly the chance we've been waiting for.
Huh?
Bigfoot is about to go on a rampage right here in Filcher Creek. I think it's time we put on our special disguises again and step up our activity. Right now, while everyone's all excited.
Aw, Zeke, you don't mean that.
Yes, indeed I do.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's time to get our Bigfoot costumes on and drum up some business.
Now, what makes you think it'll work this time? Every time we put those things on and go roaming through the woods, people either don't notice us or they think we're going to a costume party.
Well, this time it's different. Bert really believes that he's seen Bigfoot.
So?
Well, he's such a blabbermouth, he'll tell the whole town. And then they'll all be on the lookout for Bigfoot themselves. We just need a few people to spot us, and then our whole plan goes into action. Once word gets out that Bigfoot is loose in Filcher Creek, everyone will start coming around to get a glimpse of him. And when they do, they'll need some place to stay.
Oh, and some place to drink. Oh, Zeke, you know how much I want to run an overpriced bed and breakfast.
And you know how much I like to overcharge for beer. Way back in the 1800s, when the settlers first came in, they heard about this Sasquatch dude from the local Indian kin. And ever since then, they've seen him, but never captured him alive. And many folks say that the whole darn thing is just a lot of jive. But if we convince the outside world that Bigfoot lives near here, we can book some overpriced rooms and sell really expensive beer. And so we don these silly suits to start the rumors flying, to create the publicity that'll make them come a buying. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, we got your Sasquatch here. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, you will soon tremble with fear. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, it's time you realize you've never seen a Sasquatch till you've seen him with your own eyes. Just one big story on the national news about our Bigfoot town. Everybody will come from miles around to tear the old place down. And even if they call in the National Guard and troops invade with tanks, we'll laugh about it all the way from here to the local banks. And some will keep on saying that the whole thing is a hoax. It's just a cheap stunt pulled up by the local backwoods folks. You'll still get a chill in the woods when you hear something coming from behind, even though it's probably me in my Bigfoot suit trying to blow your mind. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, we got your Sasquatch here. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, you will soon tremble with fear. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, it's time you realize you've never seen a Sasquatch till you've seen him with your own eyes. First chance we get, we'll put on those Bigfoot suits, go scare us some tourists out in Columbia National Park. Before you know it, we'll have more customers in here than ever.
Oh, Zeke, that'll be great.
Welcome to Bigfoot Central. Reservations non-cancelable. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, we got your Sasquatch here. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, you will soon tremble with fear. Welcome to Bigfoot Central, it's time you realize you've never seen a Sasquatch till you've seen him with your own eyes. You've never seen a Sasquatch till you've seen him with your own eyes. You've never seen a Sasquatch till you've seen him with your own eyes.
That's Phil and Jules Darg. That's a selection from Sasquatch the Musical. For more on the antics of Arthur the Sasquatch and the folks of Filcher Creek, see www.sasquatched.com. So this is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and Jazz 88. We're broadcasting live from North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park. And joining us now on stage, having just ducked out of a birthday party that she's been cooking for all day, so she's a very busy woman today, and she's a student here at North Hennepin Community College. It's Roshan Kondikar-Hook. Welcome.
Hi.
So your story was really interesting to me because you're a student here today, but you've got an interesting backstory. You were on television in Bangladesh.
Bangladesh television.
Yes.
Right.
Tell us what you did there.
Actually, it was in 1984 to 1988. I was in regular actress in Bangladesh television until I got married. I got married at 1987 and I moved to England. And in Minnesota, I came 17 years ago because of my husband's job. My husband, he was a consultant, database administrator. So he was hired from England, that's why we moved here. But I'm here, I'm happy because my family, my brother, sister, everyone live in US. Only I was the only one in London live. But in Bangladesh, while I was there, I was a student, and at the same time, it's part of my, as a hobby. I didn't take it as a profession because I was a student that time. But in, it's a 1 hour drama, but it's not a movie, but it's a one story. It's kind of the movie story like you, 1.5 hours, so it's
serial
kind of. Yeah, it's, one time I did serial, it's a, law and order kind of things. That one, it's the little parts, yeah. But most of the time, it's weekly drama I was in. And I was known there as a Lippy Ker. My whole name is Raushan Jahan Lippy Ker. But yeah, so over there, so one of the producer, he took me, he said, Lippy Ker, I want.
That fits on the credits.
Yes,
yeah,
right. So, and I have to tell another thing, because of the producer was looking for a special drama, and they wanted someone very beautiful iron, so the person will follow. Because of my eye, I got into the TV without audition. After, when they saw on the screen and my voice, then they took my audition. So
the eyes have it.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, now you went from there. You said you traveled to London with your family.
After good married.
And so what brings you here now? What's life for you like now?
I like, if I compare to Bangladesh, actually, I like Bangladeshi life more than here because my father was a doctor and he had, like government servant, you get free house, free orderly and everything. So my life was a princess life. Here, I'm servant, I'm driver, I'm cook, everything. So here life is, but I have to say, here is secured life, I feel. Like I can come alone or in the nighttime. No one will, I feel very secure, which I wasn't feeling in Bangladesh. People, when as a celebrity, they bother you. And not only that, if they, sometimes they want affair or love, and if you reject, they sometimes, give you threatening person. So that is the reason I chose my husband. My wedding was arranged. One of my cousin, his wife saw me on the TV, and she made the matchmaking, and my husband grew up in England. So I had little hard time because he doesn't know how to talk Bangla, how to read or write, and I was afraid of speaking English that time, especially British English. So we are kind of.
Wow.
Yeah, my letter, when I used to write to him in Bangla, and my father-in-law read it to me, and my love letter, my father-in-law read to my husband.
Oh, no.
So I like, compared to Bangladesh, England was fine, but to tell you the truth, English people are snobbish. They don't talk to even if you are each sit to each other.
We're still not on in England, so
right.
it's okay.
No, I'm just talking like telling you the truth. But when I moved in here, I love America because the reason when I didn't know how to drive first time when I moved 17 years ago, so I used to ride on the bus with my little kid. They were little. Now they're grown up. They are all university, you know. So they were, everyone else, wow, what a little, wow, sweet. Where are you from? And everyone talking to me. You know, I didn't feel it. Same thing in North Hennepin also. I love my professors and, you know, my friends. And so if I have any problem, they solve, and they're so friendly. I'm really, really grateful to be in America, believe me, and also in North Hennepin. So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I love your stories. Roshan Kandikar Hook, Lippy Kandikar, as you would know her on the Bangladeshi Law and Order. That's how I took that. So thank you very much. Thanks. The great Northern radio show, Northern Community Radio, Jazz 88. Hello to our listeners back home in northern Minnesota, including our friends in Brainerd, celebrating 18 years since the last fictional murder involving a wood chipper. Now, welcome back, New Sound Underground.
Sound Underground. This is the Great Northern Radio Show on Northern Community Radio and KBEM Jazz 88 Minneapolis. We are broadcasting live at the North Hennepin Community College in Brooklyn Park. Coming up on the end of our last hour here in the suburbs, nothing matters quite as much as raising children. Demographics show the burbs attract families of all kinds, people raising kids in a cyclone of scheduled activities and sports. Animal Control will also tell you that outer ring suburbs like Brooklyn Park attract feral cats and encroaching woodland creatures. When these worlds collide, you know that even the wily smarty pants of the forest, the North American raccoon, is no match for the modern challenge of extracurricular activities.
I'm so excited! We have been selected as the 3 parents in charge of Little League team management for the month of July. With only a few weeks until the tournament, it will be up to us to feed them on the field and chaperone after-game events. Isn't it wonderful?
You know, my son Eric was just named starting pitcher for the team. I'm so proud of him.
Well, you ladies know we're just raccoons, right? I mean, I'm only here because the boys said there were primo garbage cans next to the ball fields.
Oh, Fred. I'm a little worried about this summer, though. Eric's gonna be so busy. He's teaching underprivileged marmots from Quebec-Kakistan how to swim.
Well, does he have to go to Kuzaheka sausage for that?
Oh, no. It's one of those academic swimming classes you can take through Skype. You know, on the computer, up on the 2nd floor of the Blue House. It'll look so good on his college applications. We're looking at Harvard, but the University of Mammalsota is our safety.
Yeah, that's lovely, Marianne. No, we're going to be the 3 most organized, attentive raccoon parents this team has ever seen. I've created an agenda for today's meeting that will keep us on track. And the first order of business... Fred! What are you doing?
Sorry, ladies. My crotch is covered in bacon grease. Don't ask. Just taking care of some business over here.
Well, there will be plenty of time to lick the bacon grease off your unmentionables after our meeting. Put that away, please. Now, the first order of business is the 7th inning snack. We'll provide the team with a nutritious, filling snack that will sustain them to the end of the game. I was thinking perhaps a free-range farm-raised turkey roast with whole wheat buns.
You know, Beth, my son Eric is captain on the debate team, and when they go to meets, the whole meal is catered by Bonicelli's.
Well, that's a lovely idea, Marianne, but I'm not sure we can afford
Well, Bonicelli's has a free dumpster. I mean, it's pretty good, but I don't think they deliver.
Fred, we aren't here to continue eating out of garbage cans like our raccoon grandparents.
Good enough for them.
We want something better for our kids. Quality, gluten-free, peanut-free ingredients, prepared without added sugar.
Well, there's a half a gluten-free veggie pizza floating in the brine at the bottom of the trash bin by the dugouts. What's wrong with that?
Well, that actually is an option.
Yeah.
But I really think we can do better.
My son Eric says that Bonicelli's is just delicious. They've got meatballs, salad, breadsticks, wine.
What?
Oh, the wine is just for the adult raccoons.
I mean, you want to get high, start popping the little bags of apples that all the people throw out at McDonald's.
Fred!
I'm loving it.
We have to be responsible adults.
What's it matter? I mean, our kids are just going to run around on this field at night and have some fun. This time next year, we'll be fighting them for mates, territory, and limited resources. Just enjoy the moment.
Shame on you. Such low expectations for your cubs. I feel sorry for them.
We didn't move out here to the suburbs to live that way anymore.
Hey, that was foul! Shoot, they just gave up another run. That ump must be blind.
Well, he's a mole, so yes, he is blind. He's the only one who was available. The feral cats are up at the gravel pit, and The stray dogs don't call strikes, they only call bow wows.
All right, everybody's got problems. We don't need to hold all these meetings and make it more complicated than it needs to be. Now, I don't know about you ladies, but there's a batch of spoiled dough behind the Panera Bread's got my name on it.
Oh, Dad, you'll never believe it. Coach says me and Jake are good enough to go to baseball camp next week.
Yeah, Dad, this previously unknown activity is now the most important thing to our delicate sense of worth.
I don't know, guys. Camp is expensive, and I buried everything we had under that old meth house that the fire department burned down.
It's okay, Dad. Coach says we can get scholarships if you're willing to chaperone.
Chaperone, huh?
Eric will be at the camp. Maybe we could arrange some play dates before then so the Cubs can get to know each other.
I've been a head chaperone at the camp for 3 years. We could sure use the help, especially with untangling all the iPod headphones.
What do you say, Dad?
Well, I've always gotten by using my dexterous paws. I just never thought it would come to this. Okay, you can go.
Yay! Also, Dad, we signed up for hockey. Where's Evelyn?
The great northern radio player.
New Sound Underground. This is the Great Northern Radio Show. Hey, coming up next on the North Hennepin Community College Theater stage, see Violet, a Tony-nominated musical taking us on the emotional journey of a disfigured young woman traveling through the segregated American South, the 1960s, looking for a televangelist who she hopes can make her beautiful. Directed by Mike Ritchie, the gentleman who helped us so much. Give a hand for Mike Ritchie. My good friend. A moving story of the power of faith, love, and redemption. The music will stay with you long after it's over. Performances April 10th through 18th right here on this stage. Check online for tickets, www.nhcc.edu/events. Hey, Nikolai, guess what time it is?
What
time to play the music. The Great Northern Radio Show is a production of Northern Community Radio. The show is made possible in part by Town Hall Brewery in Minneapolis and the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. Find our podcast at kaxe.org. Thanks to our musical guests, the Rowe Family Singers. New Sound Underground. The masterful violin of Stephen Decker. Phil and Jules Darg with Sasquatch the Musical. And our house keyboard player, Nikolai Koivunen. The Great Northern Radio players tonight include Sarah Breeze, John Nauman, our Lyndon Johnson of the night, Jenny Ryerson, the 612 Gang, Jason and Louisa Skorich, CJ Anderson on sound effects. Thanks to our guests, Ami Jaru, Raushan Kandaker-Hook, Dave Kaiser, and Eldon Tessman. Hey, the show was written and produced by me. I'm Aaron Brown. Additional writing by Matt Nelson. Northern Community Radio's program director is Heidi Holton. Our stage manager and associate producer is Erica Koda. Production help from Tammy Brabowski. Broadcast audio production by Dan Haug and Chris Juleson and the good folks of Jazz 88. Thanks to the goddess of grant writing, the maven of money getting, the prophet of the non-profit, Maggie Montgomery, and the whole staff of Northern Community Radio. Jazz 88, along with my friend Mike Ritchie and the good folks here at North Hennepin Community College. Our next show is at the Arrowhead Center for the Arts in Grand Marais, Minnesota on June 13th this summer. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Brooklyn Park. One more number from our friends, the Rowe Family Singers. Thank you, everybody, and good night.